Survivor Series 2020 is happening tomorrow night, and even though this week's SmackDown involved a lot of Raw superstars being invited over to a Friday night, I still could not give a toss about the whole Raw versus SmackDown thing. It's completely meaningless. We had the chance last night to throw a big stipulation. I was suggesting on our pitches video for Survivor Series 2020, bring back Survivor Series 2004. The winning team, their team gets to control their show for an entire month. At least there's something on the line there. At least there's something worth fighting for, like Cheryl Cole used to sing about way back in the day. But we didn't do that, so I couldn't give a toss for the Raw versus SmackDown matches, so hey ho. But I am ravishing Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic Wrestling. This, once again, I keep saying this by the way at the start of every single video I'm on, but the YouTube comments, just ignore it. It's a Movember attempt. It's not a fashion statement. It's going at the end of the month once I've raised some more money for a very good cause. But I'm here with all the WTF moments from last night's Friday Night SmackDown. Hit the bloody intro, you tit. And I've got to make it a WTF moment after so many times of hearing it. Finally, I've cracked. Every single time I hear bloody Angelo Dawkins going, yeah! I'm asking myself, how the hell is this guy not a heel? It's just so bloody annoying, and I don't know about you at home, but for me personally, watching these WWE shows, every time I hear it, it just pierces me skull. Do you feel the same at home? Yeah! Of course you do. Stop it, man, Angelo. And come on, Terence Ford, we can still see the bottom of your irises, man. This is how you do it. And I've just realised with this stash right here, which is still, by the way, a Movember attempt, stop commenting down there for goodness sake. I've realised I can do both the Paul Bearer section and the Undertaker section. Oh, yes! Rest in peace. And then just as we thought the Undertaker himself was going to emerge from the depths of the darkness on that screen there, it wasn't. It was only Big E, and he was wearing a sombrero hat because that's all the props department had in for him. And I just thought I'd make that a WTF moment. That's Big E trying to be the Undertaker but with a sombrero hat. And I don't care what you say, that's still the best fake Undertaker in WWE history. Woods as well. However, man, the bottom of the irises, man. Come on. That's not how you do it. This is how you do it. And I tell you what, I really hope you can't see the bottom of my irises as well, otherwise I'll look like a bit of an idiot, won't I? But let's try it once more, just to be sure. Oh, yes. Mr. Ziggles, Mr. Ziggly Puff yourself. What do you like, eh? Dolph Ziggler, when you rock up to last night's SmackDown and say, hey, New Day, you're not supposed to be here because you don't work Fridays. You actually work Mondays, and today is not Monday. It's actually Friday. That do not fly, Mr. Ziggly Puff, when roughly 300 people already on SmackDown have made it very clear that Raw superstars involved on Sunday at Survivor Series have been invited to Friday Night SmackDown. And that just leaves you asking the question once again, doesn't it? What is the point in a Dolph Ziggler these days? And there we see Sami Zayn cutting a professional wrestling promo when he is not booked to do the professional wrestling. But there we see Sami Zayn cutting a promo on last night's SmackDown where he was claiming that he didn't want to get involved in the professional grapples just in case he pulled a muscle and ruled himself out of Survivor Series 2020 through injury. And that's despite the fact he's taped up and clearly warmed up, because look at how moist Sami Zayn is. And I've said this before on these WTF moments, but I need to say it again. When the WWE superstars appear on Raw or SmackDown, always wear the gear, because moments like this where it sort of takes you out of it, they just get eliminated, don't they? Just wear the gear all the time. Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Team Rudolph, themselves absolute pair of numpties. All was going well for Rudolph at one point, because when they were moaning at Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods for swapping the tag team titles with the Street Profits, that apparently somehow, in their own mind, robbed Rudolph of a tag team title shot at the New Day. So for a split second, New Day became head bookers on last night's SmackDown somehow, even though first of all the professional wrestlers are not the bookers, and second of all they are Raw superstars and not SmackDown superstars. Not as if that should matter anyway. And they made a tag team match where Roode would take on big baldy bastard Baron Corbin and Sami Zayn. Then the winners of that match would go on to challenge the New Day later in the night for the Raw tag team titles. Thank goodness that didn't happen. Roode were then ready to fight, but then they turned around and then hit the New Day. And then the Street Profits came down, a big brawl happened, and Roode screwed themselves out of a big tag team title opportunity because that 8-man tag there was made. Whew! Now, I don't want to alarm anybody, but Daniel Bryan now has the same haircut just about that The Miz had all the way back in 2016/2017. What could this mean? Nout. But also, I'm just throwing it out there that Daniel Bryan and The Miz still have not had the match befitting of that episode of Talking Smack way back in day, and the clash of the hairstyles, even though The Miz doesn't have it anymore, that could be the straw that breaks the Miz's back. And I just love this entire scenario here because you just know in real life Sami Zayn will be big on the whole wearing the mask thing, as he should be, but because he's a professional wrestling heel on a professional wrestling show, he has to stand there while Daniel Bryan first of all makes him look like a bad person and second of all makes him look like an idiot. It's fantastic pro wrestling, really, isn't it? Dun 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 dun. We can't see his face, Kevin. How the hell are we supposed to know what Daniel Bryan is thinking if we can't see his face while he's watching the television at an impossible angle? How do we know? But a WWE superstar watching television at that angle on a WWE televised show, and forget about a TV, by the way, look at the size of that there! It's a full-on cinematic experience. I think we're dead though. How's this happened? How have we got to this state? The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh. And I don't know why I bother on these WTF moments sometimes, because everybody's favourite train conductor, my best friend and yours, Tamina herself, was booked in a match against Natalya last night, and due to utter bollocks on behalf of the booking team, once again, the Tamina train is not allowed to pull out of the station like the entire world wants the Tamina train to pull out of the station. Now, I did a bit of Googling, and I found out that Natalya, so far this year, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, not including main event, where she firmly belongs, by the way, but that's besides the point. Natalya has had 23 matches on Raw or SmackDown or pay-per-views, and last night's win over Tamina was her fourth. 4 wins out of 23 proper big matches. That is a load of shit. Now, first of all, we have the bollocks that happened last week where Natalya and Liv Morgan just about had a singles match in that fatal 4-way thing that happened last week, and a worn-down Natalya could kick out of Liv Morgan's codebreaker, but a well-rested Tamina, who spent the entire match just about on the outside of the ring, she comes in, one Liv Morgan codebreaker later, and she can't kick out, and now this, she's lost to Natalya. I'm about to lose it all. I'm just asking the question, everybody, what the hell is going on here? But an honourable mention has to be made for good old Pamela right here, because as we all know, in a former life, AJ Styles spoke to us about the little things making the difference in professional wrestling, and the former hugger Bayley can no longer bring herself to hug, and she looks in utter pain there, as she should do, with this with this new character of hers. And I know that Bianca Belair isn't too enamoured with Pamela Bayley herself calling herself the team captain for Team SmackDown, but here we have, I feel like I should be speaking like David Attenborough with this sort of thing, here we have a rare sight in the wilderness, a Survivor Series team all getting along, and of course the end is nigh has already been played after Kevin Dunn made the call to shoot a WWE superstar from behind so we couldn't see their face while they were watching television. So what the hell does this mean now? Are we already dead? Are we all Undertakers? Are we all dead people whacking? It would appear so. I don't know what to say here. That's the only team that's getting along, kind of, isn't it? How weird. And now we have a direct quote from the big dog himself, the tribal bloody chief, the #1 table salesman in all of North America, Mr. Roman Reigns. Roman says too, Daddy Drew McIntyre when the pair of them were just signing contracts like good boys and not breaking any tables. It was so weird to see for a professional wrestling contract signing. But anyway, Roman Reigns says to Daddy Drew McIntyre, you're the guy with the title that they get when I'm busy. They're like, Roman's busy or he doesn't want to do it. So they'll send Drew. He'll do it. Woo. Roman might as well have gone full Paul Heyman with that sentence there and said, Daddy Drew, the only reason you're WWE champion is because Roman Reigns doesn't want to work Mondays. Boom. 3 words for you. Tribal chief. Another Paul Heyman reference there. ECW One Night Stand. Well, if there was 2 things I did not expect to see when flicking on this week's Friday Night SmackDown, one of them would have been Asuka singing the New Age Outlaws theme. But that's a thing that happened, therefore WTF. And then the second thing would have been Asuka committing gimmick infringement when she said to Sasha Banks, you can't see me. What's that smell? It's gasoline. I know it's gimmick infringement, Kane. I know it is. Get off this one. Leave us alone.